If you're studying for the Property and Casualty state exam, this one's for you. Today's video is about one of the many sneaky ways the exam writers can trick you if you don't read the questions carefully. This is one of those things that sounds obvious, but it could be why you're failing the exam, even when you know the material. Coverage only applies where it belongs. And what I mean by that is if something is already covered under one policy, it's not going to be covered elsewhere too. That's a general rule in what a property and casualty exclusion is. So I'll give you an example of a classic trap. Let's say the question says, John's son drives his car into the neighbor's house. Is this covered under his homeowner's policy? You might read that and think, yeah, that sounds like it would be homeowner's property damage. But you missed the key part of the question, right? That's a car accident. So that would be covered under auto liability. So that would actually be excluded from the homeowner's policy because it's better covered elsewhere. Another classic example is workers' compensation and employer's liability. So if the question says part 2 of workers' compensation covers all of the following except for what? Well, you need to know that workers' comp is part 1 and employer's liability is part 2. Part 2 covers everything except for what? It's going to cover everything except for employee injuries. Why? Because employee injuries are covered by workers' compensation. When you read that question, you might read it and think, well, yeah, of course employee injuries are covered. Yes, they are, but you have to look at specifically which policy or which coverage the question is asking about. The rule is if coverage exists in another policy or another part of a policy, then it's excluded from the one that you're reading about. It wouldn't just be double covered. Don't read the question and just say, yeah, this sounds like it would be covered. You cannot just skim through these questions. This exam is designed to mess with your comprehension. So read the questions slow, read them carefully, make sure you're checking which specific policy they're asking you about, get to the core nuts and bolts of the question before you start reading through those answer choices, because it's very easy to get influenced by the choices. As always, if you're looking for that extra help, go check out our website. We have a ton of resources, full on-demand course, practice exam, study guide bundle, anything that you need to get you that passing score. Always rooting for you. You got this.